Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Tuesday. Hey, all right. We got Narwhal in here.
Yeah. How's it going, guys?
Good, good.
Going good, man. Antonio, great to have you as usual.
Indeed, indeed.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, look, we've done this pretty successfully now. Has it been 3 days that I've hit the 9 and 9, or is this my third day?
I thought it was your fourth day, actually.
Really? Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Sexy time with Antonio. Sexy time. Miguel Flores says Trump is God. Well, the closest thing to God on this earth, I'd say.
It's a good way to start the day.
Oh my God. All right. Let me take off my my elbow pads. Yeah, I got to wear elbow pads. I don't know what it is, but having my elbows pushed up against the desk all the time, like I lean on my desk hard for stability when I draw. I don't know if you do that, Narwhal. I bet it aggravates my elbows. Is it just because I'm getting old or what? I mean,
yeah, as long as your wrists are doing good. Wrists are what I'm always scared about, flaring up or whatever. But
oh yeah, people who get arthritis. My hands are great. My hands and wrists are great. They're strong. I never have complaints. I never have pains from and I have great calluses build up like on my fingertips from where I hold the pen.
oh yeah,
They're actually pretty scary. What are yours like? Do you have huge, disgusting, knobby calluses on your middle finger and or no?
No, but I draw with a Wacom tablet thing, and it's got smears. I need to clean but you can see where I draw the most because that's where there's like smeared like dead skin or whatever built up.
Yeah. Smeared dead skin. Ew. Yeah, last night we had to look at Doug TenNaples' hands. Doug's hands were I don't know why, but I literally gagged. I vomited. Like I almost vomited. And they, I guess like Andrea heard me all the way upstairs. She's like, "What were you throwing up over?" I was like, if I just tell you what it is now, it's not going to make any sense. You had to be there and you had to see it. And she's like, "Well, what was it?" I was like, Doug zoomed in on his hands. And the thing about it is, that wouldn't be so bad if you didn't know that Doug brags about never washing his hands. And then he's got these big yellow, like, pustules of blister. I can't even explain it. Like, I was like, and he was making his hands talk like Senior Wences, and it was upsetting, Narwhal. I'm glad you weren't here. I'm glad you missed it.
It was fantastic.
Yeah, I'd have some PTSD from that, but I'm glad I missed it.
It's not the thing for the morning. People are saying I'm having breakfast. No, not great. Dirty Doug strikes again. I'm afraid so. Bubba Clem
fingers.
Yeah. Is that what it is? It's the smokers kind of.
Yeah, them stains and all that. Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, I never smoked a cigarette in my life. I've never done that.
That makes two of us.
I never wanted to. I never looked at cigarettes and said, I want to try that. And I've smoked a couple of cigars. I didn't enjoy it. I wanted to enjoy it because I thought it would make me look cool. The same reason why I would smoke cigarettes, entirely to make myself look cool. But it doesn't make me look cool because I don't know how to do it. That's part of being a Mormon. I had a Michael Slap says, please don't say pustule. That is the best word. that is another word like moist, where in this context you don't want to. Yeah,
A
No,
moist pustule.
a moist pustule. Yeah, you
morning.
don't want to. Yeah, that's not the thing to wake up to. But yeah, no, I've never smoked a cigarette. Never been inclined to. Andrea does every now and then. She's like, wow, if I'm drinking, I'll have a cigarette. She's compelled to have a cigarette. And I'm like, that's cool. I want you to. But I've never been one to do that. Black Angus Reviews, thanks for $5. Hey, EVS and the Gators. Join me, Rookie Critic, and the Iron Wolf Sunday for the Cinema Squad live stream. Phase 2 of the Phantom Menace for up and coming YouTubers. Okay, so you and Rookie Critic and the Iron Wolf Sunday for the Cinema Squad live stream. I guess look up Cinema Squad on Sunday. Robert Munoz says, what about caffeine? Listen, caffeine is a whole different story. I can't draw without caffeine. I don't know what that is. Like, I can't without caffeine. I can't focus, and like an hour will go by where I'm just like kind of staring at the page, like not motivated to do anything. I got to be buzzing on caffeine to draw.
Yeah, that first sip of coffee every morning, it feels good when you're kind of addicted to coffee. You get a headache if you don't drink it too.
Oh yeah. Totally.
What about when you're addicted to crack? Is it?
Yeah. Crack cocaine is another thing. It's like I just can't do without my crack cocaine. Can't get started in the morning without it. Of course not. Do not do drugs. Do not do, especially crack cocaine and meth. I don't know how we switched from caffeine to that, but how do you do, like, I'm afraid of those drugs. How would you just do that? How would you go ahead and do meth? Would you smoke it? Like, how would you do that to yourself?
Ooh, I'm so
Peer
glad.
pressure.
You just don't care. Like, at that point, you just don't care anymore. You're just like, I'm just gonna lean up against this wall and zone out for the day. I guess that's like, I don't know if it's like that. I mean, I'm watching Sopranos now. Like I said, I'm almost done the first season, so there's a lot of drug use in that show, and the people who are using drugs are like have basically thrown their lives away. It's like they're
Literally.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they're not, you don't know how long you're going to live when you're, in the Sopranos, when you're on that show. You don't know how long your character's life is going to, well, the people that are in there, those lives are just kind of like day to day, like just getting by day to day. It's pretty shocking. And those people can use drugs. I have to stick around, but I do need to have caffeine in the morning, or I can't do anything. Not a thing.
Have you heard of the model where you like turn 80 and then do all the drugs?
That makes more sense to me, though. That makes more sense to me. Like, I would I'm not I can't say things like this on this show. But if you're gonna do hard drugs, like, wait until you're 80. You want to know what it's like, but like, wait until you're almost dead, and then you can just say, well, I lived my life. What are you gonna do? I'm sure it's nice. Mike Barron, how are you?
Good.
Good to have you here.
Thank you.
Matt Becker, $2. Good morning, Grunkle E. Yeah, Grunkle is now, by the way, if you guys want to start calling me Grunkle, I dig it. Renfamous has decided to call me Grunkle Ethan. I don't know what that means. I think it means like, well, does it mean something that
It's
I'm
a
not?
play. It's like a play on. It's a play on the drumpf kind of lingo. It's like a NPC SJW. That's my guess.
Oh, yeah. Like Drumpf. Ha 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 ha. Because his name's Drumpf, and that sounds like
Drumpf
something...
and Grunkle.
It sounds like something bad. Go ahead. To me, call me Crunkle Ethan. That's better, man. Call me Crunkle Ethan.
Crunkle Ethan turning 80 and doing meth.
Yeah. Well, not meth. I don't want
crack.
Like, I don't want to talk about drugs, hard drugs. Not with Mike Barron in the room.
Oh, okay.
I stopped that all years ago.
Dr. Fantastic says, no, it's Grumpy and Uncle together. Grunkle. So, like, if I'm a grouch, do I strike you as a grouch? Do I strike you as a grouchy person? I hope not. I don't feel
When
like
you
I
run
am.
out of ink,
Quite the opposite.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I can lose my temper, but I don't think I'm grumpy at all. I think that would be the wrong way to perceive me. I go through life with a song in my heart. I'm like zippity. By the way, ever since I was 5 years old, whenever I was in that kind of, I was skipping down the street, I'd be like zippity doo dah. I didn't know that song was racist, Antonio.
Yeah, I was about to say, that came from Song of the South. I was like, are we about to start singing the Crow song from Dumbo and all that? I've done seen some of everything. I was like, man, that's somewhat racist as hell.
Yeah, I didn't realize Zippity Doo Dah was racist, but it's a great song. And when I skip down the street, even today, when I skip down the street, my neighbors see me. I'm like zippity doo dah, zippity. And that whole thing, Brer Rabbit and Brer Bear. It's sad that that's gone.
It's going over here. They still, it's because like you can go on eBay and get. Actually wanted to buy one because I mean a lot of those old movies, man. I was just it was a different time, but people keep trying to rewrite history and stuff. It is what it is, So like, and a lot of those are classic Academy Award winning movies. And they're like, hey man, let's just not release that over here and just keep releasing it on DVD over in Europe and stuff.
Have you guys seen the Ralph Bakshi movie Coonskin? It's a band movie. It's like a play on Song of the South, but it's like weird. It's cool animation, but it's, I don't know. He hired it was in New York independent animation, and it's all black animators, so he could get away with some crazy shit, I guess.
Mike Barron, welcome, because so far it's early in the morning. We've discussed heroin and crack use and racism.
I'm glad you got that out of the way.
Yeah, well, we wanted to, the first things first, I mean, before we sit down and have our croissant. Croissant. Is it croissant?
Croissant.
Croissant. Before we have our breakfast, we like to talk about the pressing issues of the day. Welcome, Mike Barron. So Mike Barron is a comic book writer, well known. Yes. Mike Barron, why don't you introduce yourself to the 485 people who have not yet abandoned this stream, because we talked about Doug TeNaples' disgusting hands.
I broke into comics with Steve Rude when we created Nexus in 1981. Badger came out in 1982. They are the two longest lasting independent superhero comics out there. I wrote Punisher for 5 years. I wrote Flash number 1 through 13. I wrote Deadman. I've written Star Wars. Wrote for a lot of companies. About 10 years ago, I started writing novels, and now I am a novel writing machine.
Remember 1981, Mike?
Yeah.
Where were you when Reagan was shot?
Madison, Wisconsin.
Were you pissed? Were you like, what the fuck? Like, how were you when Reagan was shot? What was your reaction?
I was shocked, but at the time, it wasn't so heavily politicized because that guy that shot him was just a nut. Trying to impress Jodie Foster, and everything wasn't as politicized as it is today. But I liked Reagan, and I was glad he recovered and he filled out his term.
Imagine trying to impress Jodie Foster.
Yeah.
Like he was barking up the wrong tree there. Like,
I know, but who knew in those days?
Yeah, better times.
John Hinckley, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, my mom shot Eisenhower to impress Liberace. And,
she was barking up the wrong tree there.
Barking up the wrong tree. She didn't know any better. Silly kid. By the way, Narwhal is here. Narwhal is the creator of a book called Earthbound. Earthbound, the graphic novel. Wow, you're doing pretty good.
We were successful yesterday, and thanks hugely in part to Ethan giving it a shout out like 5 days ago.
You reached funding, didn't you? I mean, you are now fully funded.
Yeah, we're pushing for the first stretch goal now, which is to include a short comic that I did that you can find on my Twitter moments if anyone wants to check it out. But
magnificent. Earthbound graphic novel. Link is in the description. Back that. Let me check on Brand. Brand is now cleared over $48,073 for Antonio, my co-host. Antonio, Bryce, and Kanan White, their comic book brand. Wow, you're gonna hit 50. You know that. You know.
Oh yeah. That's why I'm trying to talk to Kanan. There was something special I had wanted him to draw, but he actually did start laying out pages yesterday, though, and he sent me some. I'm actually going to send a little brief preview out. I saw some of the beginnings of the Edwin Boyette cameo that I promised.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, I've been telling Edwin, I was like, you're gonna be in the beginning of the story. So there you go.
Well, that's pretty cool. I got to see what Edwin looks like. I don't get to be in any of these books. I'm sure I'm going to be in Cash Grab. I'm looking forward to seeing Tim Lim draw me in Cash Grab. I was in another comic book, but just briefly, that starred Zach. Like Zach teamed up with Trump, like Space Trump. What was that?
That was Space Force, I think.
No. It was because I had a scowl on my face and I was behind the computer going, and it was me and Mike S. Miller. And by the way, they did a great job of capturing Mike S. Miller's smile, but turned it into kind of an evil smile. What was that? It wasn't Tim Lim.
It wasn't drawn by Tim Lim. Oh, I don't know.
No. Trump Titans versus Diversity. Trump's Titans versus Diversity. That's the name of the book. I don't know if you saw it. I didn't even get a copy, but I was like, that's me. Like that kind of looks like me. And they were nice. They didn't make me that fat, Antonio. You know, they kept me slim and trim, which is how I see myself until I look in the mirror. But I picture myself being slim and trim.
That's half the battle.
Yeah. I mean, is that what it is? I mean, you have to kind of have a visualization of yourself looking, kind of suave.
Yeah, because once we all get uploaded into the Matrix, that's the form you'll take. So you want that form to be a fit one.
Yeah. El Largo 30 points out that EVS is on Nurkish's news show. That's probably more like what I look like, Ethan Van Cyborg. Yeah. So anyway, in any case, Mike, I'm glad you're here. Do you have a comic book that you're promoting by any chance?
Oh, not yet. We're going to go gangbusters next year. You know about Ben Henderson, right? You know Ben?
I know Ben very well. Yeah, he is. Ben Henderson is the founder, and I believe still is he not the publisher anymore? Or are you the publisher?
He's the publisher. I'm the editor. Cautionary
editor.
Comics. And the first one they're doing is Rampage, which is almost done. It's going to ship shortly. Chuck Dixon wrote that. And the next one up is Offworlder, which I'm writing, and Jordi Armengol is illustrating. And I've been posting art on Facebook and Twitter. And if you haven't seen Jordi's art, it's going to knock you out. It's going to remind you of Barry Smith when he hit his stride on Conan the Barbarian. You know, I'll post a little on Twitter here now, since I have nothing better to do.
Yeah, you should do it. Custom Songmaker, thanks for $5. Mike Miller's buddy drew that comic book, apparently. Made Zach look like an ugly monster with neck wrinkles. Yeah, but he has those. Made Mike and Ethan look cool and suave. Well, we are. Dan Marshall says Ethan's nose breaks the fourth wall. That just gets too real. My nose makes it too real. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm excited. So Ben Hennessy is Cautionary Comics, and Cautionary Comics is going to go hard in the paint next year. From what I understand. I mean, they've got, I think Chuck Dixon's coming over. I'm trying to get Chuck Dixon. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get him. He says maybe in January, he's going to write something for me. And not even for me to draw, for someone else to draw on my behalf. Fearsome, yeah. I talked to him and I pitched him the idea live on the air. He said he liked the idea, but, you know, I don't know. I don't know if my ideas are any good. And so he said, yeah, you know, I'll have time in January. So he's very busy doing stuff.
I don't blame him. He's Chuck Dixon.
Yeah.
The bad.
Robert Munoz says, Ethan, when you're done with the morning show, are you going to have 17 eggs for breakfast? No, 4. I saw that weirdo. What is that dude's name? The guy from, what's his name? Mark, from Shadowline, that pain in the ass. What's that guy's name? Mark Sumatra. I'm telling you, lately, Mike, lately I'm having a real problem recalling names when I want them. you know, like celebrities and things, but also just people I know. I'm having I don't know what's going on. But anyway, this guy says I wake up in the morning. First of all, I shower for like 3 seconds, and I don't wash places that I should wash, which is untrue. I'm fully and thoroughly scrubbed. He says that I get on Twitter. Oh no, I masturbate to Ann Coulter.
Ugh.
Well, I mean, you know, I don't know. Under the right
Hey,
circumstances,
at least she's a woman.
15
Yeah,
years
yeah,
ago,
Ann Coulter circa 2001.
yeah.
you know, it's not a topic I want to discuss on the morning show, but I mean, maybe, you know, they're saying it's Alzheimer's. I hope it's not Alzheimer's or senility. Yeah, and then I eat 17 eggs. Well, here's the thing about that. First of all, I do eat 3 to 4 eggs a day, but at least it's good for you. Eggs are actually pretty good for you. 17 of them is overdoing it. That's a carton and a half. I don't need that many eggs. Legion of Myth, thank you for €5. EVS, I just discovered this show about a month ago. I'm not the comic book review nerd part of LOM, but I find this my favorite stream. Love y'all. Thank you, Legion of Myth. Appreciate you.
Correct.
Glad to have you in the audience. Robert Munoz says he tugs it to Megyn Kelly. I don't know. I like Ann Coulter a lot. I haven't read her articles in a long time, Mike. You know, it's been a long time. I miss Ann Coulter. What is she doing?
She's writing books.
Yeah.
She
I just
puts
don't
out
have
about
time.
2 books a year. Yeah, no, you don't need time.
Well,
I mean, we know what she's going to say, and we agree with her for the most part.
Scott Brown says Ann Coulter was hot during the Triassic period. Well, you know, yeah. She was younger then. Yeah, I just don't have time. I watched Fox News for the first time in like a year last week, and I got bored. I just don't know what's going on in the world. Something about Kavanaugh. But for the most part, I'm going to get active right the week of the election. I'm going to start paying attention to politics and the news. I walked out, you know, there are all these political signs up in New Jersey, and I'm like, who are we voting against? I don't know. You know, I don't know who, you know, I'm just going to vote straight Republican ticket here in New Jersey, which is like kind of, I don't know, firing a water gun at a, you know, tidal wave, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm not sure what's going on. I'm so involved in Comicsgate. I'm so involved in Cyberfrog. I'm just not paying attention. Miguel Flores, thanks for $5. Trump is more refreshing than a cool drink of warms on a warm summer's morning. He is my coffee. He is my drug. He is my strength. May you all share in his blessings. Well, Miguel, that's Miguel, not Miguel. Miguel Flores. Yeah, he is. He's like a cold drink in hell. I do love Donald Trump. I agree with you. Liam, noise is the network. Worried the Connors won't work without Roseanne. So if we make some noise on Twitter, there's a chance they might rehire her.
They already shot all this stuff, I thought, right? Or they began shooting.
This is a good strategy, by the way. I kind of do agree with kind of adopting the strategies of the left. And you know, the things that they do that we find frustrating are entirely calculated. The idea of complaining disingenuously about Chuck Wendig's firing. They've chosen to blame me for it, which is like, I like it. Are you kidding me? You're gonna get. It wasn't me. It was his own idiocy. But yeah, you know, make me the one who's able to fire people.
Ethan, someone on Twitter floated Roseanne and James Woods, a new sitcom with those two.
Oh my God.
He said he'd be open to it. So we can start brainstorming for the pilot now. Submit it to him.
Yeah. What, Dr. Fantastic, Ethan, get on TRT. What's what is TRT? The Rubin. I want to say the Rubin Report or something. No, it's not that. It's not the Young Turks. I don't know what TRT is.
Yeah, that makes.
I'm confused at every turn. Total Request. No. No, you'll have to spell it out, Dr. Fantastic. I don't want to get on TV. I've been, you know.
But you're a natural. What are you doing?
No, not really. I don't find myself to be a natural at all. I'm bad on TV. I go on. I'm really nervous. I try my best. You know what's in my head whenever I go on TV is what happened to Zach on Comedy Central.
Oh,
Like,
well, yeah, they were definitely gonna do stuff like that. That was that was planned. That was a hatchet job. So.
yeah. It's even still like I think about that and I'm just like, TRT equals kill stream.
I'm
The Ralph
losing,
retort? No.
I'm losing Twitter followers even as I watch.
What? Right here? You're losing
Yeah,
Twitter followers for being on
yeah,
this show? You
yeah.
should gain them.
I
You
know.
should gain
Hey,
them.
yeah, I'm at Bloody Red Baron. At Bloody Red Baron.
Follow Mike Barron, who is. Are you a Trump supporter or are
I
you
am a Trump
anti-Trump?
supporter.
Are you? Are you excited? What do you think our chances are in the midterms?
You know, I hesitate because nobody knows anything. The one thing I'm concerned most about is cheating and dead people voting and undocumented workers voting, because I believe that the only way Democrats can win is by cheating. And I also think that Trump won the popular vote last election. And that if you examine the false votes cast and you throw them out, that would prove it. But since the left controls the media, we never hear about this.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. To me, California, I'm positive is just a gigantic. This is the thing. They say we outnumber you, and it's like, well, yeah, but you're all in stupid areas. You're all in California, and you're all in New York, and we don't need those two states, really. I mean, if we get everything else, which we tend to, we win. So there might be more. Those are two very heavily populated states, but Republicans just don't need them. I'm excited about the midterms. I think we might lose the House, but then again, I thought we'd lose the presidency. I tend to believe polls, and I learned last election not to believe any of these polls. But then I forgot the lesson that I learned. I'm going to just go in and just be like, well, the polls all say it's 3 and 4. That the Democrats are going to win the House back, and oh my God, is that going to be chaos? Here comes impeachment. Here it comes. Why would they do that? What's the point of impeaching a president when you don't have the Senate?
The point is to exercise their malice. The left is driven overwhelmingly by malice, by things that they're against.
And it's like it's like therapy.
Yeah, all right.
Sorry.
They just want to do that just to feel better. I mean, it doesn't do anything.
For their followers, yeah, they're like playing to their fake audience or whatever.
You know what's going to be funny is when if this all happens and he is impeached and people, 99% of the people on Twitter are going to wonder why he wasn't removed from office. What the hell? He was impeached. Yeah, that's like not how it works. What? Yeah, they're going to be pretty confused about that. They were confused about the popular vote, versus the electoral college as well. Electoral votes, that all confused them, and they're going to learn. Everybody's going to get civics 101. Should the Republicans lose the House this November, we'll see what happens. But that's not what we talk about here too much. I mean, I'm afraid it's going to drift that way. I hope it doesn't. Politics is I don't know, it feels grimy to me these days. But what we do want to talk about is what's going on in the world of pop culture, Mike Barron.
I'm your man.
All right, so let's look over here. Where's the story I wanted to discuss? Oh, here we go. I reported on this last month, and then people said, no, it's not true. Henry Cavill's agent is saying something different. Now it's pretty much official. Henry Cavill's Superman is gone. I mean, Warner Brothers has said they're not going to do any more Henry Cavill Superman movies. And I couldn't care less.
No. I hear he's going to play James Bond now. He's the lead runner.
He'd be good at that, I guess. I see him as a very handsome fellow. I don't see him as particularly charming. Boy, he looked so, because of that mustache thing and the digital removal of the mustache. That entire movie, Justice League, looked weird. That movie had so many flaws in it. His weird smile in that movie because of the mustache that they digitally removed poorly. Everything about that movie, it just, oh God, it was awful. So the whole thing is embarrassing. I'm glad he's not doing any more Superman. We got to get a new one. Why not the spit curl? What the hell? God. I'm gonna start cursing. I'm really gonna start cursing. It's like we're gonna make some changes. Let's take away all the stuff that's just kind of charmingly Superman. The spit curl and the shape of the S in his forehead. That is not Superman. Without that, that's not. This isn't Superman. Damn you. It looks like Warner Brothers still has no plans regarding future movies with Ben Affleck's Batman. Yeah, Ben Affleck Fleck is leaving too.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, he was having a miserable time being Batman. That's fine. We weren't enjoying him. Weren't really enjoying him either. Or Henry Cavill Superman. Following the release of Justice League last year, the future of the DC universe, movie universe for Batman and Superman appeared to be in doubt. Prior to the film hitting theaters, it was reported that Affleck was planning on leaving the role, despite still having one more Batman appearance on his contract. Even though it's been over a year since those initial reports came out, there still isn't any concrete information regarding Affleck's DCEU future. The movie lost like something like $300 million. Yeah, I mean it's like honestly, I don't know whose life is worth $300 million. Start marching people into volcanoes when you lose that kind of money. That is crazy. All of them. Cavill gone, Affleck gone. Get rid of everyone involved with that movie. In fact, the same applies to Cavill Superman. Last month, it was reported that the actor had exited his role as the DCEU Superman following failed contract negotiations for a cameo. Imagine this. And David F. Sandberg's Shazam. I mean, it's like dragging a mule. It's like, meanwhile, Marvel, the MCU is going pretty smoothly. It's like, hey, it seems like everybody's kind of loosey-goosey and ready to go. Robert Downey Jr., we need you for a cameo in the Cloak and Dagger movie so you can be Iron Man. Oh, yeah, no problem. He's there. He does it. He's charming. He's great. Whatever it is they're doing, whatever like budget tier MCU movie that is coming out, whatever it is, everyone agrees to be their character. Everyone has a good spirit. Everyone has the right attitude. Meantime, Shazam, which looks like a fun movie, but isn't, because it's going to be overshadowed by the fact that you can't even get Henry Cavill to be Superman for a cameo in it. Like, what is going on exactly over there? What is going on?
I wish I was more excited about superhero movies these days, but I can't get into a movie unless I believe it could actually happen.
What do you mean?
Well, you watch a movie and these people are flying through the air and blasting each other with the rays, especially the blasting each other with the rays. And you see this blue thing emanate from the hand, and then the guy staggers back and there's a bunch of blue sparks flying back. It's no substitute for real drama.
Yeah, but I don't know. I still believe in superheroes. I still believe in that a man can fly. I believe that a man can swim. That's why I'm going to go see Aquaman. That should be on the poster. You will believe a man can swim.
James Wan is a good go-to director. I think he'll pull through. That trailer was looking good too, but he's got some weird movies under his belt. He did like a bunch of horror movies, and he did the Fast and Furious 8 and stuff. And
the Star Trek.
Yeah.
Well, I like it. I love superhero fantasies. What I don't like, see, this is the thing. I think despite the fact that Captain Marvel is coming out and that looks to be like a treacherous hellhole, things are pretty loose at the MCU. I just like that everyone kind of participates. Everyone gets into the spirit of it. It's like, hey, yeah, of course, Robert Downey Jr. is not going to be the star of the Spider-Man movie, but he's going to be in it, and it's because he's Iron Man. That's who he is. Henry Cavill, you're supposed to be Superman, and you should be available. First and foremost, your priority should be, I'm Superman. So I'm in every time they need Superman, I need to be there. And it's like they can't get him for this. God, that's depressing. Does that depress you? That bums me out. And the fact that this dude here, Ben Affleck, is like, nah, I don't want to be Batman. How can you not want to be Batman? God damn, I would be Batman. Could they fit me in a Batman suit?
They can put your bat gut in the bat suit.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd be happy to be Batman, and I would be there. I'd be there for everything. Still, the news sent shockwaves through the fandom, and it only exacerbated fears. I exacerbate to Ann Coulter every morning, from what I understand. That the current iteration of the shared universe was coming to an end, at least with regards to DC's two flagship characters. While that may not exactly be true, it's possible the people playing the characters may be ready to hang up their capes. In an article regarding the Flash's movie production delay, this is another thing right here. The Flash, are you kidding me? The worst part of the Justice League movie was that weirdo playing Barry Allen. You got to get these people out of here.
Yeah, that was weird for me. I didn't enjoy him, and some people were saying that they should have got Grant Gustin from the TV show to play him in the movie. But a lot of times they don't like to do that. They'll be like, "Okay, you're the TV guy, you're the movie guy." So
I would just use the TV guy, and I don't know why that's that's silly. That's a problem.
Yeah, that could be a rule that they break that would change. Like with Marvel, it kind of started. It was all the revolution was started because of Iron Man 1. Like no one saw that coming, and he wasn't like as big of a character back then as we remember, really. And all of a sudden, he's now the most popular kind of because of Robert Downey Jr. So I wonder if they'll start with like a less popular character and bring it up or something.
Well, you know what it is? I think the characters that are believable, like you just said, I don't believe in people flying around blasting each other. Well, okay. I think there's something to be said for that, because the thing about Batman is that it's a believable fantasy. Everyone feels like, well, I could be Batman. I could, if I had his money, and I devoted myself to, becoming perfectly physically fit, mastered every martial art, every fighting style, I could be Batman. That's something that's possible. It's attainable, and Iron Man is too, or it seems to be. It's like, oh, this is a guy who's real smart. He's he built himself a suit that can do all this stuff. It just seems like it exists in the real world, and the movie helps make it seem like it really could exist in the real world. They make that Iron Man suit seem real.
That's the magic of movies.
Yeah.
Plus, we've seen people flying around now for real in personal bodysuits. I've seen it on Facebook, several different versions of people flying through the air with self-contained rocket packs.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. They've been showing that a lot.
This is one of those things that really bothers me about mankind. I'm pissed that we haven't been back to the moon, like walked on the moon. We've only been there twice. Why? Yeah. Why haven't we can do it. We should be better at it now than we were 50 years ago. Or what is it, 40 years ago?
Political will. The country lacks the political will to do that.
Well, it's stupid. And in the 60s, there used to be these commercials for Keds, Ked shoes, and they starred this guy who was flying around in his Bell rocket powered belt. This guy built a jetpack, and the thing flew. It could fly for 20 minutes. In the air. There's all this footage of him like in his rocket jet pack, flying around, and it's real. I mean, it's a real thing. Why don't we all have those now? We should have those. That was 40 years ago. Ricky Gervais said, there are very few things that I would blow $100,000 on, just stupidly. But he said one of those things is a personal rocket pack, and I agree. I would spend $100,000 on a rocket pack.
What about when it malfunctions and you go crashing? That would be horrible.
Yeah, things like accidents happen. But I mean, you've had 40 years to perfect this technology. You've had 40 years to perfect the idea of walking on the moon, going to the moon, and nothing. We're sitting around on Twitter.
There was a guy years ago. He strapped a bunch of balloons to a chair and took a BB gun up in the air.
He's my hero.
Yeah.
And you know why? When they asked him why he did it, he said, "A man can't just sit around."
Oh, that's awesome. Genius.
That's
DCV
my motto.
Titan, thanks for $5. Great. Now I'm picturing EVS in an all-weather leather corset with a bunch of stagehands trying to stuff him into a greased-up batsuit. Well, don't picture that for too long.
Yeah.
Johnny Dollar, what superhero is Elon Musk? Iron Man.
They used to call him Iron Man, yeah.
Yeah. Valdez D. Frank, why been Batman if they put you straps to own you? Why been Batman if they put you straps to own you? I don't know. I'm sorry. I tried. I didn't get that.
That was Yoda speak.
Yeah, it was. It was a little Yoda-ish. No, I would buy a jetpack, and I would want to fly around in a jetpack. Now, Iron Man makes me think that, like, if we had followed that Bell rocket belt to its logical conclusion, 40 years of technological evolution, we would all have rocket packs right now, and it pisses me off that we don't. Hold on, I'm looking this up. You guys think I'm lying about the Bell rocket belt. It's 1966. This dude, look at this. Hold on a second.
There's a Peter Thiel quote. He says, they promised us flying cars. All we got was 140 characters.
I know.
Hey, I got to bow out, guys. My dogs are savaging me because they have to go to the dog park. But if you're still here when I get back, I'll join you again.
Okay. Well, it's great having you, Mike Barron.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Welcome, that umbrella guy. I didn't know you were here. Hello.
Hey there. Yeah, I like just sneaking in and seeing how long I can sit there for a minute. It's kind of a game. It's kind of fun.
Well,
I'm
I
chatting
dig it.
in the morning, you know.
I'm always happy to have you here. Now, umbrella guy, this is the year 1966 right here, and I want to show you what I'm talking about. Look at these guys. Look at this. Look at this.
That guy's cool.
Why don't I have this? Look at him go. Can you imagine? I would be like, hey, look at him. Okay. All right. You fall on your butt. These are all tests for this thing.
Wouldn't that be a cool way to enter a place too? I mean, everybody would be like, damn, look at that. That's awesome.
Yeah. It pisses me off that I don't have this. This guy's got an updated one, but I mean, they're rare. He's in the Smithsonian flying it around like it's ancient history. It's not ancient history, dude, bro. We don't have these. Oh, this guy's a skateboarder, so he gets to use it. F you. I'm a comic book artist. I want to use it. Yeah, I don't know. It bums me out. It does.
Savage Pastrana? I was like, who's that? I've seen those guys.
I don't know, but whatever. I mean, he got to fly the jetpack, and nobody else does. That does irritate me. So in any case, that umbrella guy, it's official. They are not. They're not going to use Henry Cavill as Superman anymore. They're not doing it. It's over. Superman and Batman are gone. They're going to keep Wonder Woman. That's probably a good idea.
Wonder Woman.
It's no secret that Affleck has been contemplating exiting the role as Batman for quite some time. He said as much last year when he talked about finding a cool way to segue out of the shared universe. By the way, segueing, not cool. You know what I mean?
No,
they tried to make those cool in 2000. It didn't work.
Yeah.
Segue.
I saw somebody, they have that tilt function, so you're not supposed to be able to fall over. I saw someone going down a hill and their tilt function wore off. It was really funny,
Yeah. So don't segue yourself out of the shared universe. That would be embarrassing. At the same time, it was believed that he would be doing that by starring in DC's Flashpoint movie. That's going to be a disaster. Thus also fulfilling his 3-movie contract, which didn't count his cameo role in David Ayer's Suicide Squad. But that film story itself appears to be moving in a different direction. As for Cavill, he's always been adamant about being in the role for the long haul, but WB wanting to focus on other characters in the meantime, such as Supergirl, means Man of Steel 2 is currently on the far back burner. Yeah, I just, again, I mean, you know what? I feel like burn it all down and start over again now. You have to. You have to look at this mess. Star Wars is no better. I mean, Star Wars is even worse than this. But I mean, when you follow these movie franchises and you see how much money is being tossed around and just flushed down the toilet, it's really frustrating. And for these guys to be a problem at all, for Henry Cavill to be a problem in the face of all this, like, hey, we're spending $400 million on something. Will you please be a part of it like you're supposed to? Now I got a scheduling conflict. We only need you for 2 minutes of the movie. I can't do it. Can't do it. F, not S. F you. F you. Was that going too far? Should I not said F you?
No, I'm good. I appreciate that.
Add a few more letters. I think you could throw around half the alphabet and it'd be okay.
Yeah. It's just disturbing. And it is disturbing. What was I wanted to Did you know that Hal Jordan coined the name Green Lantern? I didn't know that. That's interesting. CBR. This is pure garbage tier right here. This is the worst website of all time at this point. Is it or is it not? They actually ban you talking about Comicsgate in the chat. You're not allowed to mention Comicsgate. They will delete your thread if you go into the message boards and start a chat about Comicsgate.
Not only that, they've been taking up. So they did another piece on that Mojo Black, X-Men Black, Mojo One. They did a piece talking about, haha, that's showing Comicsgate, and yet you can't talk about Comicsgate, but they sure as hell will talk about you.
Yeah, that Mojo thing. I read it, and I read pieces of it. I'm not buying that.
No.
Wow, they really showed us.
Yeah. That's really, I mean, what's the end game with that? Woo, you show those potential consumers what for, they won't buy your books. Awesome.
Those people who just want comics to be good and don't want left-wing politics to be shoehorned into their comics, into their regular, normal DC and Marvel superhero comics. They're big, fat, robotic. What's Mojo? He's yellow.
They made him a giant incel, though. I mean, that's what pretty much. I mean, I guess he would fit the.
He is an incel.
An incel before, but they gave him a fedora. They made him. They even talk about it in the article. He's a fedora tipping miladier. That's what they say in the article and everything.
That's not what we are. We're not fedora tipping miladiers. That's what they are.
That's them. Yeah, that's the soy. Yeah.
Yep. And they tried to. I was like, do you guys not really understand? But they definitely wanted to slap that on us. They wanted to say that that's somehow an impression that we give. I thought, no, what we are, we're people that can afford comics, business professionals and whatnot. These folks, yeah.
I feel like they stuck it to me. That Umbrella guy. I feel like they really they socked it. What was it? Sock it to me. I feel like they socked it to me.
What are you going to do? You're going to go withdraw your money that you made from Cyberfrog and roll around in it like Scrooge McDuck. You can probably feel better afterwards.
Yeah, I feel really awful about it. By the way, there's a guy named Pat Toomey in Pennsylvania. He's a politician. I think he's like a senator. Is it Senator Toomey? I told him he's like my we're expecting another baby. I said name your baby Socket, like SOCKET, Socket. How cool would it be to be like, hey, my name's Socket Toomey? That would be awesome.
Are you channeling Laughing? What are you?
Yeah. Just like Laughing.
Here come the judge. I'm like, okay.
Barry Allen will be late yet again, as the upcoming Flash solo movie won't go into production until late next year. Variety reports that the Ezra Miller-led superhero flick has to accommodate for the actor's schedule. I quit. I'm not doing it.
Schedule. Yes.
I'm not reading. I quit. I'm not doing it. The actor has Ezra Miller has a busy schedule. No. I'm gonna throw my first how they say you comic skaters should throw temper tantrums everywhere. I haven't thrown one yet, but I'm about to.
Whatever movie it is too, it's going to be like The Eyes in Our Stars 2, or some like book.
Well, that's what he should be doing. I mean, he really should be doing movies like that. He shouldn't be doing The Flash. Like, he's the worst Flash ever, and it's like, all right, so you're going to cancel all of these other movies, but you're going to still keep Ezra Miller's The Flash on the dockets, and he's too busy to do it. My eye socket is pounding.
Did you like him in Fantastic Beasts? He was in that.
No, I didn't. I didn't see Fantastic Beasts. He was in that.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he kind of a disturbed character in there, but I enjoyed it. And I don't know if he's in the sequel, but he's in Fantastic Beasts 1. So
I'm living on back to Fantastic Beasts. It's been really funny. You have J.K. Rowling out there trying to appease the right side of history crowd, and of course they were turning on her and trying to eat her alive. It's really funny.
They do turn on each other. They always do.
They turned on her for, oh no, Johnny Depp, we can't have him in a movie. Oh no, that teaser that you put out that was 30 seconds long. Well, we couldn't tell that the character was gay in that enough. He only seemed kind of gay. And oh man, my favorite one, they cast the snake that was in there, the Nagini, they cast that as a quote unquote person of color, and just some of the stuff that they threw out there was amazing. It's just it's awesome.
People are remembering. Do you remember that Ezra Miller interview with Gal Gadot, where he
Oh yeah,
tried
that was so cringy.
Oh my god, dude!
Yeah, she looks like, oh my god, get me off this stage, please.
Get me out of here. Get him out of here too. That was horrendous. I don't care anymore. You know what? I officially don't care. I'm not a big fan of the superhero movies anyway. To be honest with you, I got out of and I've got to watch it again. I've got to watch Avengers 3 again, because I got out of Avengers and I said, yeah, it was reminded me of the Muppet Show versus Joseph Stalin. The superheroes were such clowns, and Thanos was such a like imposing, dangerous threat, and like they're all like waka 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 around him, like Doctor Strange being a goofball. When did Doctor Strange become such a jackass? I always thought Doctor Strange had like incredible dignity. Like he's an a-hole in the movies.
Yeah, they do kind of play him. Yeah, like I said, he was always dignified, and he wasn't like, I'm better than you, blah blah blah. I'm wasting my time being here.
Well, he's like he's got the Joss Whedon, Buffy the Vampire Slayer sense of humor, which I think works for Iron Man. I mean, definitely Tony Stark should behave that way, but it's off-putting when like the Sorcerer Supreme speaks that way. It's just, being kind of a dick, and then being kind of a fool. So I watched that movie. I need to watch it again. In the theater, I was really struck by how silly the superheroes were when facing an existential crisis. And of course, Spider-Man should be, and there's some room for some looseness. But man, when Thanos comes to town, everybody should sober up. And by the way, get the Guardians of the Galaxy out of here. Well, I mean, the Guardians of the Galaxy they were this close to getting the glove off of Thanos' hand, and then that dickhead from
Oh man.
He destroyed the world. That dude destroyed the world. He killed half of humanity because he wouldn't just let them get the glove off of Thanos' hand.
No glove, no love, baby. You know how that works.
No.
If the glove fits, you must acquit.
Yeah. So the Guardians were goofy. I need to again. When I walked out of that movie, I laughed, and I came home and I did a review of it, and I said it was. It felt like the Muppets. It felt like they were all silly. Everyone was silly in their own way. And then Thanos was like, hey, I represent the death of everything. And everything that you hold dear. I'm here to destroy the entire world. And you guys are busy being funny. That was my impression of it. But again, I will watch it again, because when I got home, everybody was like, that was the best superhero movie I've ever seen.
I enjoyed it.
I don't know. I got to see it again. I got to see it again.
Like 10 times. I've watched it at least 10 times. I enjoy it.
Have you watched it 10 times?
Oh,
that movie?
dude, I love it, man. I watched it like a couple times, like 3 times in a row. I kept watching it. I was writing while I was watching it. So yeah, I was digging it.
All right. See, that makes me want to see it again now. I mean, I'm somebody who's seen the Star Wars Holiday Special 50 times. So, I should be able to, see Avengers Infinity War a second time. What did you think of it, Umbrella Guy?
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was good. I haven't watched it. Apparently, I'm a few, at least 8, I guess 8 watch behind. Maybe I'd like to sit down in my own home and really kind of enjoy it. But I liked it when I sat down, watched it. The second time, I usually watch everything twice to really see what I think about it, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I need to see it again. I'm going to give it a second chance, and I'm going to see. I mean, look, I do have I'm not Zach. I have good taste in movies, but when it comes to superhero stories, I kind of expect superheroes to behave a certain way. And I don't want superheroes to behave. Here's my problem. This is a big thing with Comicsgate too. I can't stand when I'm reading a superhero comic and I'm painfully aware that the superhero is behaving like the creator. Who's working on it.
Oh yeah. That's like some postmodern self-insert, like ego writer crap, and it's everywhere in like Marvel and stuff right now.
Yeah, when it would be the self-insert This is, the idea that like, this is why Doctor Strange seems so off-putting to me. I'm like, Joss Whedon is not, he shouldn't be Doctor Strange. Like Doctor Strange should not be Joss Whedon. That's just not who he is. I mean, definitely Tony Stark. Tony Stark can be Joss Whedon all day long because that really works for his character. That kind of like, super funny, flippant, very wealthy genius. That kind of applies very, well to that character. But my God, when everyone's behaving like that, and when the heroes are making stupid decisions, and not taking things seriously. I mean, to me, the best superhero movies are still Superman 1 and 2. Because Superman was funny, and you believed in him. I don't know, I trusted him to take care of the problem. He had a sense of humor, but when things were serious, and you really felt him, you felt his concern. With the Marvel movies, you never feel their concern really until the moment that they're disintegrating. It's like, oh, this is happening to me. I didn't. Yeah, it is happening to you. You should have taken this more seriously. You guys were all goofing off and dissing on each other, and yeah, now you're disintegrating. It's like
most of these people don't understand like a hero, somebody that's actually they want to be edgy. They want to. I mean, if you look at most of these people, how can they speak to the better self when they're better self? If you talked about betterment, well, let's go online and punch another Nazi. I mean, how do you teach that person to go out and actually do something altruistic, outside of self and do something just for other people?
Yeah, how do you? Yeah, people are very self-concerned these days. There's nothing I wouldn't do for Antonio. Like if Antonio needed my help, I'd be there.
Facts.
I mean, I wouldn't help Nasser, but maybe I would. Would I help Nasser? Would you help Nasser, Tug?
I'd flip a coin, maybe.
Yeah, it depends on if it was convenient. Yeah. If Narwhal needed me, yeah, I'd help him
You'd
out.
be there.
Yeah, I would. You know why? Because his campaign, Earthbound, the graphic novel, has 25 days left to go. It's already met its flexible goal of $4,000, and it's at 42.67 right now. So this guy's going places. If you haven't yet backed Earthbound, Between Two Breaths on Earth, the link is in the description. Make sure to back and support that comic, and also support Brand by Antonio Bryce and Kanan White. Phenomenal.
Thanks for the
Phenomenal
shout out, Ethan.
Well, I mean, that's what we do here. We want to promote these comics and make sure that people know about them.
Hey, my channel hit 10,000 subs. You kept telling me, hey, it'll happen. I was like, all right, it did it yesterday. So I'm pretty.
That's congratulations.
Sweet.
Yeah, thanks, man. Like, yeah, you kept saying that it'll happen. It'll happen. I was like, no, it'll never happen. You're like, yeah, it will.
It's an avalanche from there. It is agony to get to 10,000. It is so hard to like climb and claw to 10,000, but it really does pick up speed. You'll be at 20,000 in like 2 months. And from there, it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. I just hit my 1-year anniversary today. I've been on YouTube. Today is my 1-year anniversary on YouTube.
Sweet.
Cool.
Where are you at? I see
80,000.
80K. That's what I can see as a subscriber. I can't actually see your actual number.
Oh, my actual number. Let me look at my actual number as of right this second. As soon as you say this, people unsubscribe just to F with you. But 80,338 subscribers.
Awesome, man. Congratulations. I mean, I know I watched you like, go through and do so many different things. And it's amazing too. Actually, people like having a person that stands up, and there's so many crazies out there. I never realized how many crazies there were until you have a person that they really want to go show the what for, and someone stands up to them, and then it really brings them out of the woodwork.
I feel like people need to stand up to these. They really are bullies, and they have a way. There's some people. Here's the thing: there are some people out there that just cannot defend themselves. They're easily routed because they're just not good with words. They're not good at speaking up for themselves. You really do. Somebody needs to stand up to these bullies and just be like, you know what? Like, I think a lot of that for me, my personal hero was Zach, your boy Zach, because when I was going through it, when I was being bullied and harassed and demeaned, Zach always found the right words to defend me, and he was never afraid to defend me. People say, why are you loyal to him? Why are you loyal to Diversity in Comics, to Richard C. Meyer? He's said some things that, he regrets that I find indefensible. I don't like some of the words he said. But it doesn't matter because for the most part, he's right. But for the second part, like as a friend, in terms of I prize loyalty. I value loyalty as a man more than anything else. And he stuck up for me when it wasn't convenient or easy to do so. And he did so, I don't know, with integrity. And he was always very clever about it. He was always right. So Dr. Fantastic says now he's cucked out. He's not cucked out. I mean, he's busy.
He's exploring the space.
Yeah. Splendopia says, I became an EVS fan because of Zach's video defenses of you. Yeah, and he did so many. Like, when it's happening to you, it takes a while to get your footing. Now I'm perfectly capable of defending myself, but when you're being beaten down, it is hard, man. It's hard to kind of stand up and say, no, F you. You do need to kind of get some people behind you and get some support. And he did support me and make me feel like, I could do this too. I could speak up for myself and speak up for what I believed in. So
show how bad like this space treats people like yourself. I was stunned by the conservative discrimination, but beyond that, people trying to tie your name to Charlottesville and trying to tie you to to just all these awful things, to actual deaths. I mean, it's insane. I didn't realize how insane these people were until that.
Well, they're not. They're being very careful. They're doing this on purpose. Like they have a strategy. And people from Gamergate tell Comicsgate, they say, learn the lessons of Gamergate, and I'm listening to them. Their strategy is to announce that Comicsgate is a hate group, and if enough of them say Comicsgate is a hate group over and over and over again, then eventually maybe that'll become a fact. Maybe people will recognize that Comicsgate, which is just a group of fans and professionals who are saying we don't like what these people are doing. The left-wingers have taken over the mainstream comic book industry. We've got to create an alternative just for us, for our own sake. And yeah, we're going to be critical because, everyone has politics. We're definitely going to be critical of what they're doing over there because they're ruining mainstream comics. But we're over here doing our own thing. To call us a hate group is devious and diabolical. And the purpose of it is to make it so that we get deplatformed and defunded everywhere we go.
Yeah,
So,
it's an Emperor's New Clothes like parable playing out in real time, and that parable is a free speech parable. It's about being able to stand up and say something without like crazy repercussions, like getting deplatformed. Which that's their number one goal, is to deplatform us. But
yeah, well, to make it so that we can't make money at this, to punish us. It's really strange until you realize that this is very definitely a culture war, and if we succeed, then it gives people an alternative to them, and they don't want people to have an alternative to them. They want people to be forced to be exposed to whatever they choose to expose them to. If we stand up and we have a counter or an alternative voice, people they know are going to come to us. So they need to shut us down, demonize us, call us a hate group, make sure that we can't get funded, kick us off of Twitter, YouTube, Indiegogo, PayPal. Destroy all these avenues where we could succeed and flourish so that people can only hear their message. They have no choice but to hear their message. So calling us a hate group and everything that they're doing, tying Zach to Charlottesville, all of this stuff, it's strategic. It's all part of the bigger plan, which is to make it so that Comicsgate cannot exist. And that's the culture war. So yeah, people have to stand up. They have to recognize what's going on and stand up for each other and stand up for this movement and just for our right to exist and do business.
yeah, they're really not into capitalism in more than one way. Like they reject the audience and they reject the competition, and it's like they really are like communists.
Well, they are, and they're evil, and what they're doing is evil, flat out evil. I mean, it's not a matter of, hey, we disagree, because I'm willing to coexist with people I disagree with. They're not. And so, you know, everything that they do, make no mistake, it's a strategy. Tying me to Chuck Wendig's firing is a strategy. It's strategic. You know, it's all part of this. It's all part of, well, you know, hey, you guys took down one of our soldiers. We're going to take down one of yours. You know, yeah, try to bring me down. Good luck. That is the all of this is organized. They talk about it. They make little plans. Their little chart last night about how I am responsible for Chuck Wendig getting fired. God, I wish I had that power.
If they take you down, it'll be like Obi-Wan. You'll be like, strike me down and I shall become more powerful than you can ever imagine.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's, you don't know that that's going to happen until it does happen to you. And you just go, wow, you guys are making me a way bigger deal than I am or ever should have been. You know, I mean, my career in comics at DC was kind of grinding down. I mean, I was drawing Green Lantern. Nobody knew I was drawing Green Lantern. And you know, really, I had hit my peak in like 2010 with Flash Rebirth. And from then on, I was just kind of coasting to, you know, mediocrity. And then this happened to me. Now it's like,
yeah, you're a living legend.
I know. Whoops. You know, yeah, now I'm bigger than I ever was. And they keep talking about me and making me, they could just ignore me. I could just do my frog book and it wouldn't be a big deal, but they can't.
You're getting famous to the normies. Some of my friends who don't follow comics mentioned you to me. They're like, have you heard about Ethan Van Sciver? Because they'll follow kind of conservative politics. They'll watch like Mike Cernovich or whatever. But
yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool. I dig it. But I mean, I you know, again, the only person I talk to every single day besides Antonio, I talk to Antonio every day.
For shizzle.
Is my wife. And I talked to Andrea and I'm just like, it's really, I don't know what's going on here, but it's important. You know, whatever is going on here is important. And I don't know why me. I don't know why I have to, do this, but like I feel like I do. I feel like I have to promote other people's comics and make sure that people can succeed in this industry without having to kneel before the Portland Mafia. It's like that. That's why I'm here. I think that's why I'm here. And yeah, I mean, it's been really good. It's been great for us. Things are.
They've tried to turn the Portland Mafia into a conspiracy theory as well. That's pretty funny.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, look, I'm a new father again as well. I want to point this out. It's like I'm a new father again. I have a 2.5-year-old, and I'm going to put her in a private school. And we can afford to do that now because of this. Do you think I could have afforded to do that working at DC? I couldn't do that. I couldn't afford to do that. I wasn't making anywhere near as much. Like you guys now, I mean, basically the smallest Indiegogo campaigns right now are making what I was making at DC. And they're the small ones. So it's just like I couldn't have afforded to do that. Like God is out there making all this happen. It's almost like we just look at each other, me and Andrea, and just say, if we didn't believe in God before, it's evident that He's here now, because it's like, yeah, we can afford to do good things. Like Ava's life is going to be, even if my life is hell, like I'm all leathery on the inside because of the way I've been beaten up for the past 2 years. Ava's life is going to be so much better because of this. Because of Comicsgate and everything. And I hope to spread that around. I want other people to have similar success, get noticed earlier, sooner, make a better living in comics because of what's going on here. And we can do that. It's so exciting. And they see it, they don't like it.
I had a breakthrough that I can build on now, where I was kind of beating my head against the wall for a couple years there, more than that even. But
yeah. It's
thanks to Comicsgate.
Thanks to Comicsgate. This community is great. It's great. Doug Tenaple's here. Hi, Doug.
Hey, good morning.
And Mike Barron is back. It's good to have you back, Mike. I didn't expect to see you again.
Well, the dogs made short work of it.
Yeah, that's good. Now Comicsgaters are bitching and making videos, mad that Jawbreakers is late and Cyberfrog will be late. These people are really anti-CGers LARPing. Yeah, I don't think Cyberfrog's going to be that late. I keep telling people you're going to have it by Christmas. And I know, I don't know how many more times I've said that, but yeah, it seems to be doing okay. If there's any lateness, it'll be because of printer problems, but I'm not really anticipating those. So
No one's ever complained to me about something good that was late.
Yeah.
They complained plenty about something that was bad that was on time.
Yeah, you guys, we'll see the books in November. I'll actually show them to you in November, and it's going to take a little while to get them out. Here's the thing that you have to understand. This is the first time I've ever done this. I've people are like, well, don't you anticipate? No, I don't. I don't anticipate anything. I've never done this before. I've never published my own comic book. So, when I started this campaign, I guesstimated things. I just guessed. I know how long it takes me to do a comic. And I don't know how long it takes to print and distribute something because I've never done it before. But I'm learning.
You're going to learn a lot on shipping.
Well, you know what? I'm not even getting involved. I'm letting somebody else do that. I've got some seasoned professionals who are going to take care of that for me. But yeah, it's like, you have to learn. The second one, we're going to utilize the knowledge that we gained from the first to make it better and, improve the process, streamline it, and make sure that things are a little more accurate. But give us, guys, I ask you kindly, let us figure this out. Like, just allow us to grow and learn. We can't be perfect right out of the gate. We're trying our best.
Yeah.
I'm actually glad you said that because I know just from talking to the colorists and the font guy and just seeing how much Caney can actually draw every week. We got 48 pages and 2 covers to do. Plus Caney's got to draw about 50 sketch covers and all this. It's not going to come out exactly but we're trying as hard as we can. I mean, we're working. I mean, me and Kanan are putting the work in. My main thing is I've always told everybody that reached out, if there's delays, we're going to be transparent about it. We're not gonna, don't run when people ask the question. That's why I'm, matter of fact, like I said, in a couple hours, I'm gonna put out another update for people, and show what we've been doing. We've been working. I promise you that. So.
Sashi says, "Draw faster." You're exactly right.
Sashi's backed up.
I know.
Sashi got so many people ordering Nurkic clown avatars and stuff. I was like, man, Twitter.
I know. I'm waiting for a Sashi avatar too, but I'm not gonna. I'm looking forward to it. She's like, "Well, what do you want to do?" I don't know if I want to. I didn't want a clown. I wanted a frog. Like I wanted some frog thing.
Okay.
What about a clown frog?
Well, I don't know. I mean, maybe we'd start a whole second thing. Like, she's got clowns for Nurkic and maybe frog something or other for me. And people could hire her to do whatever she does for me.
Oh, that'd be good money.
For them. Yeah.
That'd be good money for her too.
Yeah. Well, it's not for me. But I mean, Sashi would
draw frogs than humans, Sashi.
Yeah, like I think she's gonna draw a frog on my head or something. I can't remember what she said she's gonna do, but she did like a quick kind of doodle of it, and I went, yeah, I don't really care. Like, I just want a Sachi drawing of me. Honestly, her drawings are really, really good, and they're getting better and better. Sashi,
fantastic.
Yeah, like Sashi's earlier work from just last year isn't anywhere near as good as her work is right now. She's someone who I think is. It's almost like when you're playing baseball every day. You just get really, really good at playing baseball. Sashi is the same way. I mean, it seems like she draws every single day. Her early work from last year was good. Her work now is absolutely incredible.
She's really good.
Yeah.
And the human form is hard, and she's getting it nailed. I mean, how hard is it to draw women? And she's got it down.
Yeah, they feel really 3D.
Blows me away just by doing it. Sorry, go ahead.
They feel 3D to me, good form, and like. That's all I got.
Yeah. She is great. I mean, she's very thoughtful artist. Very thoughtful artist. Darth Bobcat, do you get residuals from your DC comics? Yes, I do. If you buy a copy of, say, Flash Rebirth, the trade paperback, I'll get $1. I get about $1 for that.
$1?
Yeah.
I'll buy that for $1.
Yeah. Well, if it's like a $15 book, I think I get $1. I mean, my Flash Rebirth residuals are really, really good. I think I get. I mean, even still, that book came out in 2009 or 10. I get about $2,000 every quarter for that.
Very, very good.
Yeah. I mean, because people just keep buying that book, so it's good. And yeah, I mean, it's still, the book still sells. My royalties from DC are great. Really good. you know, so there are two kinds of royalties. There's publishing royalties, and then there is shared. What's the word I'm looking for? What do they call them? Publishing and then merchandise. It's just merch. They call it merch, and that's all. Those royalties are okay. Sometimes they're fantastic. You know, if you've got something good, especially if one of your characters that you created for DC is in a video game. Movies are okay, but video games are just slamming, dude. I was in Lego Batman 3. I remember this. I was moving to New Jersey, and I didn't even know about Lego Batman 3. But Lego Batman 3 had a bunch of like Green Lantern or like, you know, Yellow Lantern, Blue Lantern. All these characters that I created were in that, and I didn't know. And I got a check out of the blue for like $36,000.
Whoa!
And it was like, yeah, I thought that was absolutely awesome. And so that kind of thing still and you know, ever since then, the you know, the video game still sells. We still get, you know, Injustice 2 has Atrocitus in it. Those are really good. If you you know, if you create characters that DC actually uses and kind of puts in cycle like that, you do make good money. Publishing is okay. You know, publishing's pretty good. It's always just shy of about 5 figures for my publishing. You know, I don't know about what Mike gets. Mike, do you get a royalty check from DC?
Yeah, every now and then, you know, it's chump change. They use my character Kilgore in the Flash. So about a year ago, I said, "Hey, you're going to pay me anything for Kilgore?" So, "Oh yeah, we're going to pay you." And it goes on and on. Then 6 months ago, I said, "So where's my check?" And the guy responds, "Well, we're waiting for this report and that report." And so about once a month, I'd send him a note saying, "How's that check coming? How's that check coming?" Finally, he says, "The check is in the mail." And about a month after that, I got the check was for $525.
For Kilgore? You got
rich.
No, you know what? Marvel sucks. I don't know about Kilgore's DC. That was a DC character, right? He was in Flash.
Yeah, Kilgore's Flash.
He was in the Flash TV show.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's garbage. It's there's no money in TV. I know it seems like there would be, but in the TV stuff, they use my Flash stuff all the time on the TV show, and I do get little. They're similar to what you got. It's never anything that's big. The movie was big. Iron Heights Prison was in Justice League, and I own a piece of Iron Heights Prison and of Barry Allen's father. I created. I didn't know that. I created Barry Allen's dad. I had no idea, and he was in there. He was in prison, so I got a big check for that. And on the other hand, at Marvel, in X-Men First Class, I own Angel, the little girl with insect wings, who was played by Lenny Kravitz, Zoe Kravitz. Yeah, that's her name. Zoe Kravitz was in it, and I thought I was going to get like $20,000 for that. I was like, oh, I can't wait until that check comes. We're gonna, you know, oh my gosh, we'll be able to get a new car or something. And it shows up, and it was like $900. I was like, nah. It was like nothing.
DVDs came out and stuff.
They used my character microchip in Punisher, and I get $500 every time he appears in an episode.
Yeah, that's about right. Like TV is nothing. TV's nothing. Movies are something, except at Marvel. Marvel's royalty system is so lame. It's so jacked. You know, again, you know, those X-Men books I did with Grant Morrison are perpetually in print. And once a year, usually around Christmas, a check will pop up in the mail from Marvel. It's like for $150, and it's just like, thanks anyway. You know, there's no money in it. You know, DC is so good with royalties, and Marvel is just terrible with them. Absolutely terrible.
Do you ever work in Image?
No, not that I know of. Not substantially. Yeah.
I've got 10 books at Image.
Oh wow!
But nothing that ever made it. You know, I get my own side deals on my movie deals, but you know, it's just a different game doing more indie kind of comics than going for the big two. The big two are big business.
Mm-hmm. MRDR Fly says that isn't Marvel, Ethan. That's Sony or Disney. No. Marvel Comics that's who I have a contract with in terms of the characters that I own. So Sony or Disney pays Marvel Comics, and then Marvel Comics pays me. That's kind of how it works. It's not Sony or Disney in that way. I don't have a contract with them. I have a contract with Marvel. So, same with DC. Yeah, it's good. Tug has over 10,000 subs. Congrats, says Captain Frugal. Of course he does. The two of you and Yellow Flash, I'm watching kind of race each other. Is Yellow Flash at 10,000 yet or no?
No, Yellow Flash doubled it now. He had that big list controversy that it gained him a pretty significant number of
22,000. He's at 22,000.
He's a monster right there.
he's got the you're right, that the blacklist, which I wanted to kill him for. I was like, what are you doing? There was that, but Yellow Flash is the one that everyone says when they're talking about how evil Comicsgate is, they say Yellow Flash. And I'm just like, wow,
because
Yellow Flash,
a comic book that he owns, and because he doesn't always sanitize his language. Man, what a terrible, terrible human being.
Yeah, I find him funny. I'm sure he said, I don't know, if somebody gave me a list of things that he said, that I might be like, yeah, that's a little walking on the edge. But I find him funny, and stabbing a comic book to me is funny too. I don't understand why they get so butthurt about that. I'm like, it's a magazine that he is expressing distaste for. You take that as a personal threat? Are you kidding me? Like, that's absolutely crazy. I find him to be kind of fun. But I've always...
He tells him it's about subs too. I mean, Sienna Grace actually commented on, well, I can't wait till he cuts off his finger or something. And Yellow Flash's response was, can you imagine how many subs I would get for that? So I thought that was
22,000. Good for him, man. That's pretty good. And he's only been going, he's going to blow up. The two of you will. I mean, I see the two of you as the same kind of generation of Comicsgate. I think you guys both started the same time. I don't know. I'm surprised he's at 22. I'm very impressed by that. But again, that is how it happens. You are going to hit an oil slick in terms of subscribers now yourself. Now that you're at 10K, it's going to happen real quick for you. You're going to get there. And you'll probably catch up to
I appreciate the support too. I do. You always had me on here, and I don't know. Like I said, when I was starting out at those first few subs, it takes a long time. So I appreciate it. You've always encouraged everybody to do that. Like, find a voice, not find a voice and agree with Ethan Van Sciver, like they said. Just find a voice. Go and find yours online, and you can throw out whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. Get out there and just find a voice that people recognize. And everyone's so unique in Comicsgate. That's what I like. I don't agree with everyone. I like the fact that there's a lot of variety. I enjoy listening to everyone. Even if I'm not always on board with what they're saying. Darth Thanos says, thank you for the Red Lanterns. Oh, you're welcome. I love the Red Lanterns. They were fun. They're one of my favorite creations. That was Red Lanterns was mostly me. Jeff Johns and I kind of collaborated together a lot during the Rainbow Spectrum, the Blackest Night days. And Red Lanterns was, I love the 28 days later, 28 weeks later movies. I'm a big fan of those. And I was watching them all the time back then. And I just said, I want to do these guys. I want to have a ring where when you put it on your hand, you become like them, like with red blood coming out of every orifice, like your eyes are leaking blood, your mouth, your nose, and you're just rabid. Like putting on this ring equals rabies, and it's rage. The Red Lanterns were mostly me. Jeff did the Indigo Lanterns almost entirely, except that I had the idea to give them that lantern that was kind of on a staff. Jeff did Indigo, Violet. I don't know if this is interesting to anyone. And he mostly did Orange Lanterns by himself. I mean, I created Larfleeze with him.
Larfleeze.
But his thing about there only being one Orange Lantern, that was him. I thought there would be a whole lot of them. All of that stuff.
I shifted from that. I thought that I saw some other Orange Lanterns that weren't constructs. But No.
Yeah, yeah. In Green Lantern number 25, obviously I had to create like all of the characters and costumes and everything. And I think there were like 2 or 3 Orange Lanterns on there that just turned out to be nobody because it just made more sense for Larfleeze to be singular. He would want everything for himself. And so how could there ever be any more Orange Lanterns? That was a good idea. That made sense. I didn't really get involved with that. I mean, for me, it was really like Blue Lanterns, which I said were co-pilots to Green Lanterns. They accentuate the Green Lantern's ring. Hope and willpower together are powerful. And Yellow Lanterns was definitely that was early on. That was definitely me. I just said, how many yellow rings are there? There should be more, and Sinestro should start up his own army. That was early on. That was like during Green Lantern Rebirth. And then Red Lanterns was me. And that's about it. The rest of it was mostly Jeff. but,
I got
yeah.
jump lantern right now. I got to go.
All right. Great having you.
See you, brother. Good morning. See you guys.
Morning.
See you, Doug.
Did you create Glob Herman? Yes, I did, Gus Tyler Bush. That's why it was funny that Glob Herman was in that whatchamacallit book with Mojo.
Do you think that was actually like even making Mojo not a shot at Comicsgate, but maybe that was making Mojo diversity in comics and like he represented as Globber? Yeah, I keep looking.
Yeah,
at that
it's possible. I mean, because I think do people know? Like, does everyone know I created Glob Herman like at Marvel? Like, I don't know. But I saw him there with Mojo. I see that Mojo's taking a shot at Comicsgate. If not, like it's an accidental, pretty good joke, if they didn't do that intentionally.
Do you get a check for that though? Or do they
yeah, I own Glob Herman. I don't think, again, Marvel's royalties suck. I've never gotten a check for ancillary like appearances of my characters in other books. Glob Herman has to become a toy or he has to be in a TV show or a movie or a video game in order for me to get paid. But at the same time, when the Red Lanterns had a comic book, I got paid for that. And it was never anything. It was like 2 cents an issue. But it was something. It was like an acknowledgement that, we're using your characters in this monthly comic book.
Yeah, so, I remember you did a video like late last year where you actually showed a royalty check that you got from DC, and it was like there was a couple of like trade paperbacks, and it was like 25 cents. It was like they were literally itemizing everything. I was like, oh.
Yeah, that's how it works. They send you get a big check, and then like a week later, they send you the itemized list of how many copies of everything that you did sold, and what you got. And what I was able to point out, I've never shown the whole thing because I just don't think that's anyone's business. But I wanted to show people exactly kind of what you get, and I was able to find one item where I sold 1 copy. It's like Justice League, a book I did in 2000, sold 1 digital copy, like in that quarter, and so you could see 5 cents. So from that, you're able to glean that it's like a single copy sold over the 40,000 threshold. You have to sell 40,000 copies of something in order to start getting royalties. So once you've sold 40,000 copies of Batman, 40,001, you get 5 cents. 40,002, 10 cents, et cetera, et cetera. So that was able to show, it's about a nickel roughly to pencil something. Pencil and ink, it's going to be 10 cents. It'll be twice that. So yeah, it does add up really quickly though. I mean, especially when you have a long history of work and the work is all being sold digitally still. People want to investigate me. It's like, hey, I'm watching Ethan on YouTube. You can go get any of my books on Comixology now, digitally, instantly, $3. You can see all my old work, and I get a nickel. I get 5 cents for every book that you buy. That way. So that's nice. It all does definitely add up. And when you become more, people start to know who you are. People start to buy your old work. Yeah, you get good. DC's going to be paying me, forever, whether I work there or not. It's like I actually make more money on royalties than I did actually drawing comics there every year. So it's a good system. It's much better working there than Marvel. Yeah.
It's almost like, you always seem to say that because I was like, I used to think Marvel was a dream. I was like, man, it sounds like DC pay a little better.
I think sometimes Marvel. Here's the difference between Marvel and DC. I always thought Marvel. People would say DC is the family car and Marvel is the Ferrari. So in a way, that's true. Also, I've always felt like DC is the more responsible adult place to work, and Marvel is the kind of stupid, like short-term kind of teenager sort of place to work. In the sense that in 2010, after I left, after I'd finished Flash Rebirth, my contract was going to be up at DC, and I investigated Marvel. Marvel Comics made me a big offer. Marvel Comics was going to pay me. They said, "Yeah, come over here." I was going to work with Bendis on Avengers, and they offered to pay me a big upfront signing bonus. Okay, like a very good 5-figure sum to sign the contract. And that was tempting. They'd say, we're going to back the dump truck of money up. We're going to back the Brinks truck up to you if you sign to work with us. And I went, oh, yeah. So looking at that money, then I talked to DC about re-signing with DC. And DC said, yeah, look, we're going to bump up your page rate by a few dollars if you stay here. And we will give you the same money. We'll give you more money than Marvel will in terms of their signing bonus. But we're going to give it to you for completing a book over time. So, you finish an issue of Green Lantern, we're going to cut you 10% of your page rate over again. You know what I mean? As a bonus. So you're going to get all of the money that Marvel promised you. You're just not going to get it up front. And we're going to use it as a carrot and a stick to get you to do more work for us. And see, that's like a better choice. It's like you sign at Marvel, you get a smaller page rate, but you get this huge influx of cash right away that you're going to blow on something. And then and then what? I mean, at DC, they'd kind of be like, we're going to hand it to you slowly over time that in a way that'll encourage you to do more work. And by the way, the more work you do, your bonus is going to be bigger. It's going to end up being bigger. So I don't know. I've always felt like that it was like a better choice. It's always been like a better choice to work there. Yeah.
I was always fascinated by stuff like that because, like I said, I wanted to work in the industry, and I was just like,
It's good. I mean, it's okay. It's working in comics is fun. It really is fun. But at the end of the day, I mean, working. Everybody should work at Marvel or DC for a long period of time. It's like being in the military.
I will.
It's like going to school. You have to do it. You have to put your time in. But you don't own anything at the end of this. There's nothing that's yours.
Well, see, yeah, that's the thing. I will say about 6 hours ago, I was laying in bed and my phone dinged, and it was Kanan, and he sent me about 3 pages of layouts that he was working on, and I was excited because it's like the first few pages of Brandon. I was like, oh. I just got this feeling. I was like, this is what I wrote. This is awesome, and I was just like, it is. So yeah, he's coming up with more stuff, and I was just like, man, I can't wait, to see more of this. I mean, I know where the story's going, but I just hadn't seen his art for it to actually get to visualize it. And that's why I'm saying when I send this update out to our backers, they will actually get to see the preview pages that Kanan laid out. Like, they're just layout pages. They're not fully rendered, but I wanted to share them with our fans and let them see what we're working on. So,
Nerdette's Newsstand's making fun of me. She's like, it's like being in the military, ha ha ha, quote unquote. It is, in the sense that obviously it's not like being in the military per se, but everybody should put their time in if possible. It's like I respect people who who put their time in, who were enlisted, who kind of served at some point, but eventually you've got to get out and do something else. That's kind of what I mean. And it is great training. When you're working at Marvel or DC amongst all of those other really, really talented people, it's great training. You will come out of there a much better artist or writer than you were when you went in. And without it, you're going to be missing something. You're not going to be as good as somebody who went through it. So that's kind of what I mean by being in the military. It's clumsy. Sorry. Yeah, pay your dues, says Joe Marone. Almost. Yeah, you got to get in there and just kind of, you know what I mean, tug guy, right?
Yep. Yeah. I think, the difference. I think you like for yourself where you went through and tried to clarify that. I think it shows that you respect the military as well. That was good.
I do respect the military. I'm in awe of people who join the military. It's not for me. I couldn't do it.
No, I've got family in military. It's not. I don't feel disciplined enough, so I respect people for what they did and what they're doing right now.
All right, guys. Well, listen, it's 10:30 a.m. now on Eastern Standard Time. It's time for us to get up and have a day, to get drawing, to get writing, Antonio, to get drawing. Herberg. I don't feel good calling you Narwhal.
You can call me Pear.
Pear, okay. Get drawing, Pear.
Yeah, I'm drawing some pages of Earthbound today.
Beautiful. I am drawing Cyberfrog rescuing Heather Swain. It's a flashback sequence from the Harris Comics series, and the actual meeting of Cyberfrog and Heather. And why they're friends. It's just this question. It's like, Heather asking him if he sometimes feels like he lacks humanity and all this stuff. I absolutely love what I'm doing right now. I'm having so much fun with this comic.
Sounds like a touching moment. That's cool.
Yeah, it's like when Cyberfrog doesn't deal well with other people. I mean, and he doesn't. I mean, his job is to rescue human beings, and they're afraid of him. And he finally finds someone who sees through all that and can see him for what he is and who he is, and just try to relate to him as a person, even though he's a frog. He was meant to be a person. He was programmed to be a human being, and he instead looks like this. So. It's pretty good stuff. I'm learning to write. I'm absolutely learning to write. It's going to be a great experience. And then once I'm working with Dave Sim next year, oh my God, absolutely fantastic. Can't wait.
Work with Dave Sim? I would very much like that.
You can ask him. Yeah, I owe him a phone call. If any of his people are watching now, and they always are, I owe Dave Sim a phone call. He's going to come to New Jersey and hang out here. So Dave Sim has a problem. He doesn't have any technology. But if he comes over to my house, I got a guest room. We'll do live streams together here. And that's kind of what he wants to do. He's like, I want to get on Comicsgate Live and, be on a live stream. Well, you can just do that at my house. So, I'll get him on here and this is the thing. What an opportunity. People don't get to talk to Dave Sim because he's so kind of shut off technologically. Comicsgate Live is going to be the first time that people really get to speak to him and see him as a person. So it's quite an honor and a privilege. And I'm going to learn. Those of you who look at this situation of me getting to work with Dave Sim enviously, let me tell you something. I am going to take everything I can from this. This is going to be, a big time learning experience for me, and I'm going to absolutely learn how to do comics via Dave Sims. So, all right, I'm going to run. You guys have a great day. Trenchard 1375 Sim on Comicsgate Live would be amazing. Well, it's going to happen, folks. He is Comicsgate. By the way, his fans are trying to talk him out of it. Don't you understand? It's a harassment campaign. You're talking to the wrong guy. Anyone who's actually been harassed by liberals in comics the way I have, the way Dave Sim has, like 10 years before me, we see through this. Dave knows exactly what Comicsgate is. He understands it. He knows what it is. And of course, it's like an opportunity for him to kind of stand up and, I don't know, get the respect and dignity back that his work deserves in this industry. Get some more mainstream attention. Find a new audience. Make good money. Guys, you're gonna have to respect Dave Sim. He knows what he's doing. All right, guys. I will see you all tonight at 9 for Comicsgate Live.
Oh, I thought you were doing High Council tonight. Is that not?
Oh, it's Tuesday. Oh my gosh, you're right. Okay. I will see you tonight on the High Council. I think it's on Jeremy's channel, Geeks and Gamers. So I will see you guys there. and then,
Oh, you're right.
all right, bye guys. Bye.
Bye.